Is that all there is? Is that all there is? If that's all there is, my friends, then let's keep dancing. Let's break out the booze and have a ball. If that's all there is.
Once again, I thank you for tuning in. To be honest, I started these short Lenten talks without really knowing where I was heading. If you can recall, the first short talk was very much impacted by the beginning of the war in Ukraine and led me to reflect a little bit on what is truth, on how war can never be the final solution, and how compromise is so important. In the second talk, I spoke about the way Pope Francis encourages us never to tire of doing good, even though we may wonder if what we do makes any difference at all. It should be understood that the times we are living in, the times we are living through, are having an impact, not just on our mental health, but also on our spiritual health. This led me in talk number 3 to speak a little bit about what it means to be human. To be human is to recognize that we are always incomplete, we are always less perfect, and therefore we need to lower the expectations we have of ourselves and of others. Humanly speaking, we can only go so far on the road to wholeness. We need Christ to complete in us as individuals, as peoples, as nations, what we are lacking. That is why, for us as Christians, it is so important that we listen to Him. In the last talk, I associated the season of Lent with the need for reconciliation. Being human, being incomplete, being wounded means that we can and do cause others to suffer. Seeking reconciliation from time to time is no more and no less than a humble recognition that we have been wounded and that we wound others. We go to God then, not only looking for forgiveness, but looking also for healing. I want to share with you now these last few thoughts for Lent. A few days ago, I met with the Archbishop of Berlin during a recent visit to Germany. The Archbishop spoke at length about the kind of city Berlin has become. International, intercultural, interreligious. Such a city highlights the importance of dialogue for peaceful coexistence. He went on to make an interesting comment. He said that between believers, people of different faiths, and non-believers, people with no faith, there is, in fact, some common ground for dialogue. What is this common ground? It is, believe it or not, doubt. Doubt is what we all have in common. In times like these, believers and non-believers are entitled to ask, and should be asking, basic questions, such as, where is God in the world today? Where is God in the Ukraine, in poverty, in so much suffering? When such questions come from the heart, they open us up to a dialogue with God and with our neighbour. But I am aware of one other conviction growing in me that has come from these few reflections. I have come to understand better that there will always be a brokenness to life, that there will never be a perfect society, a perfect church, a perfect institution, a perfect family. Such things, humanly speaking, are impossible. You might think that coming to such an awareness is painful or depressing. I have to say, I find such an awareness liberating. It is not for me or us to save myself or others. That's God's business. Our vocation for our time here on this fractured and wounded earth is to be helpful, loving, forgiving, understanding, and compassionate. For without these qualities, we couldn't survive.
Is that all there is? If that's all there is, my friends, then let's keep dancing. Let's break out of.
Should we despair then and give up if that's all there is to life? More of the same? No. From a faith perspective, from an Easter perspective, this human life is but a dim reflection of another life that is waiting for us, a life that we cannot possibly imagine, a life in which we will find ourselves supremely satisfied.